The next point is, at one time there were some seafarers, local seafarers,
Yes,
recruited to
yes.
work on British tankers, three in particular, Derwentdale, Dewdale, and Ennerdale. And I remember sometimes back I had someone with us on Bonjour Cecil, and they were complaining that they've been knocking on doors, looking for assistance, and doors have been closed and so on. Are you able to tell us what's the actual position on
Sure.
this issue?
It's another source of quiet satisfaction, actually, because this is an issue I wasn't even aware of for my first 6 months in Seychelles. So again, I'm coming into a situation that's got lots of history, lots of emotion, actually lots of misunderstanding as well. Because I think you'll have seen from some of my other work with the Poppy Ball and the Veterans Associations, recognition for Seychellois veterans of any sort who fought or who served the UK and Commonwealth is
at one
something
time
I'm
in
passionate about. I love my Tollbrook boys, and we have, there's a great commitment they made and a great thank you we need to give back. And also for Seychellois to understand what these people did for the country as well. But the one missing group I felt were the seafarers. So just to recap for people, these are people who served with the Merchant Navy. So not the Royal Navy, they weren't with the armed forces, they were the civilian shipping arm. That's not to say they didn't also do an outstanding job. At times they risked safety. They had endured some difficult conditions. But I think we need to see it in the context at the time of how many young Seychellois men, when offered the chance to serve on board a merchant vessel, were like, yeah, great, off we go. And the point of contention comes down to a couple of things. I feel they weren't recognised. Recognition is really important, Jude. It counts for everything. And once I realised...
That's their bitterness, that's their frustration.
It is, and I could understand that. And once I understood where this group of people were coming from, and that actually they didn't have the validation every Remembrance Sunday of the Cenotaph service and everything, that sat really uneasily. A debt of gratitude, again, we owe. And I think a lot of that we've come so far with this group now by just talking. They come up to my residence for events, afternoon teas. We meet regularly. We have put them in touch with the wider Seafarers Association for the Royal Fleet Auxiliary. We have given them uniforms, medals, flags. We want them to feel special and to feel appreciated. And that goes part of the way. The other part of the question, which is still ongoing, is their belief that they are due compensation. And it all comes down to the terms and conditions on which were given to Seychellois members of the Royal Fleet Auxiliary as opposed to others around the world. And that is something that is being looked at. And we're looking at it very carefully. In terms of the legal case, the British government ruled 5 years ago that there was no compensation to be made specifically for this group above and beyond the payments they received at the time. And of course, at independence, a massive settlement was bestowed on Seychelles by the UK, which was to cover a whole range of things like this, including ex gratia payments. I think where we've managed to disaggregate the problem is to work out what is now the Seychelles government responsibility to this group and what more the British government can do in terms of the recognition piece.
So are you saying that right now the ball is in the Seychelles government's court?
It is indeed.
Because at independence the British government paid the country to cover all these...
Yes.